Hello everyone, it's Ashley at the Silver Bay Public Library, and I am back once again to bring you guys a read aloud. As you hopefully remember if you've seen our other videos, I will be reading a choose your own adventure book again, and this one is The Abominable Snowman by R.A. Montgomery. Last time we went through, I think, 2 endings. They were pretty wacky, and this time we're going to go through a few more, and then I think for later in the week we'll choose another choose your own adventure book, because like I said, this one has 28 possible endings, which is like really cool, but I want to make sure you guys get a chance to see all the endings and things like that, and I don't want to take that adventure away from you guys, so make sure you come into the library and check out these books. I'll be working here for the rest of the summer. We have other lovely librarians that can help you find them. So yeah, how about we just dig right in. I'm going to go back to the beginning, read the first couple pages just to catch up anyone who hasn't seen the other videos, which you should totally go and check out. And then we'll just get into the decision making. Obviously I'll be making decisions. I'll do my best to not repeat anything, but sometimes I forget which paths we've already taken. So we'll just see what happens. So, you are a mountain climber. 3 years ago, you spent the summer at a climbing school in the mountains of Colorado. Your instructor said that you had natural skills as a climber. You made rapid progress, and by the end of the summer, you were leading difficult rock and ice climbs. That summer, you became close friends with a good boy named Carlos. The two of you made a good climbing team. Last year, you and he were chosen to join an international team. The expedition made it to the top of 2 unclimbed peaks in South America. One night on that expedition, the group was seated around the cook tent at the base camp. The expedition leader, Franz, told stories of climbing in the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. The Himalayas form a great natural wall between India and China, with Nepal tucked in amid the peaks. Everest, K2, and Annapurna are the best-known mountains in the Himalayas. These and many other peaks have been climbed. Still, others lie in remote areas where few humans have gone. There, said Franz, in the high valleys beneath the snowfields, lives the yeti, sometimes called the Abominable Snowman. The yeti is said to be a huge beast, Franz tells you, perhaps a cross between a gorilla and a human. People cannot agree what it is. Is the yeti dangerous? Carlos asked. Franz shrugged. Some say it is. Other people say the yeti is very gentle. Have you seen one? You inquire. No, almost no one has. The best proof of the yeti's existence is a set of very large footprints discovered in the 1950s by a British expedition. No one has ever photographed one that I have heard of, Franz answers, but still the story persists. You and Carlos decided then and there to find the yeti. When you returned from South America, the two of you raised money from the International Foundation for Research into Strange Phenomena. Your goal? Prove positive that yeti exist. You will find and photograph the yeti. That is what brings you to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Your problems, though, have already begun. 2 days ago, Carlos left by helicopter to look over the terrain near Mount Everest. The helicopter returned without him. The pilot told you that Carlos decided to stay up at the Everest base camp to check out a report that a yeti had been seen. He had a radio transmitter, but you have received no word from him. The weather turned bad, and radio communication was interrupted. You have an appointment to speak with R.N. Roonel, the Director of Expeditions and Mountain Research, and an authority on the yeti. He knows of your plans. You need his help with official permits for the expedition. He will also have good advice and information. But what about Carlos? So we can either cancel our meeting, or if we think Carlos is okay, we can meet with Roonel. And Carlos is a good climber, so I think we're just going to go and meet with Roonel and hopefully have him help us find Carlos. You walk down a street bordered by tall pines. They're green-blue and the branches and needles are very fine and delicate. Hanging from the upper branches are what looks like huge, tear-shaped, blackish-brown fruit. You stop and look up, wondering what they are. Then one moves, spreads giant wings, and flaps off. They're bats, the largest bats you've ever seen. You reach the foreign ministry and you are shown to a waiting room. You wait a few minutes and then are ushered in to meet R.N. Roonel, Director of Expeditions and Mountain Research for the Nepalese government. Welcome to our country. We wish you success, but I have some bad news. The expedition you have proposed could be very dangerous. You look at him, not knowing what to expect. Recently, a large expedition set out without telling us they were going after the yeti, says Roonel. They used guns and traps and tried to kill one of them. The yeti are angry. Mr. Roonel, we just want to find a yeti. We have no intention of ever hurting a yeti. I know that. We have checked up on you. It is a shame about the others. I must advise against going into yeti territory. I could arrange a trip for you into the Turai region, out of the mountains in the jungle area. You can photograph and study the tigers. They're famous and also dangerous. Later, perhaps, you can conduct the expedition you're leading. So we can either keep looking for the yeti or go look at the tigers. And I think for today I want to do both, but we're going to start out by going ahead and looking for the yeti. I appreciate your warning and kind offer of the alternative to go to Turai, you say. We are committed to this expedition. We will search for the yeti with openness and friendship. R.N. Roonel nods his head and speaks quickly to his assistant in Nepali. Within minutes you have the necessary papers for the expedition, stamped in the proper places with the official seal of the Nepalese government. As you shake hands before leaving, he stops you. If you are determined to go on your expedition, it could be easier and safer if I come with you. What should you do? Having a government official along with you might just cause delays and bureaucratic snafus. On the other hand, he could also smooth the way. You know, we chose to accept his offer in the last episode, so we're going to decline his offer this time around. I think I will go it alone. Thanks anyway. Mr. Roonel shakes your hand, but he does not smile. It is clear that you have offended the man. What should you do? Is an apology in order? Should you try to patch things up? Oh no. So we can try to make amends and invite him, or stick to our decision. And I think we'll stick to our decision. You leave Roonel's office. As you walk outside, you are hit with torrential rain. It falls from the sky, hitting the earth in explosive drops. You planned your expedition assuming the monsoons would be over by now, but apparently they are not. You sit it out in your hotel for 3 weeks. The constant rain has closed off the trails to the mountain valleys, and with mudslides and boulders. Nature has gone wild, and your I'll slow down. Sorry. And your expedition is blocked for good. Too bad. Try again next season. The end. So, clearly that didn't work, so let's try apologizing and getting him to come with us. Mr. Roonel, I beg your pardon, sir. I have made a mistake. This is your country and we need your help. Please do accompany us. It will be our honor and pleasure to have you with us. The room is silent. You shift nervously and stare out the window at the palace grounds and the formal gardens. Roonel does not respond right away. He fiddles with a pencil on his desk, deep in thought. I appreciate the kind offer. I can only accept if you allow me the great honor of being expedition leader. If you allow this, I may be able to arrange for funds from the government, as well as tactical support from the Royal Nepalese Army, including helicopters. This catches you by surprise. You're the leader. So, we can either accept or point out that it will not be possible. And, I mean, why not? We'll just let him do it. Okay, Mr. Roonel, you lead the expedition. I'm sure our goals are the same. We can use the support of your government. Roonel's connections within the government turn out to be very useful. Soon the expedition has better supplies and equipment that you would have been able to get on your own. His knowledge about the Yeti proves to be useful. Arrangements for a helicopter to the base camp at Mount Everest are made. Maybe it's the best to have him lead. It's his land and he knows it well. Now that he's a member of your expedition, Roonel sends out a government team to set up your base camp and find Carlos. Success! Carlos is found and rejoins you. Roonel turns out to be an excellent team member. 6 porters carry your food and tents and supplies. This leaves you free to explore the steep valley sides and the small villages along the way. The days are long, beginning at first light and going until sunset. Your legs ache from the constant pounding as you walk along the narrow trails, which have served these Nepalese people for hundreds of years. Above you are bright blue skies dotted with clouds. The snow and ice flanks of Lhotse, Pumari, and Everest rise above the green on the lower slopes. As you approach a village, Roonel points out a large building with a red roof, which stands above the small, neat houses clustered about it. That's the monastery where there lives a monk, a Buddhist monk who has lived with the Yeti. But I thought no one had really seen one. I thought no one alive had spent time with the Yeti. Roonel answers, a well-kept secret. Those who share this secret knowledge of the Yeti are pledged to reveal this knowledge only to appointed people. You and you alone are one of the appointed. It has been seen in the stars. It has been read in your hand. What do you mean? Who saw it in the stars? Who read it in my hand? Roonel does not answer for several minutes. Then he speaks. If you accept the secret knowledge, your life will change. You will never be the same. Decide now. In our last episode, we accepted the secret knowledge, so I think we're going to reject the offer this time. You look at Roonel, you look at the monastery, and you look at Carlos. No, I'm not ready to accept your offer. No sooner have you spoken the words that clouds choke the narrow valley. The mountains seem to vanish and the monastery is swallowed up by darkness. Roonel turns his back to you and speaks as if to the wind. I am very sorry that you cannot accept. Since you do not feel that you can go ahead, the expedition is declared over. All permits are revoked. You must return to Kathmandu and leave the country in 24 hours. The note of finality in Roonel's voice tells you that you have no choice whatsoever. Your trip is over. The end. And that looks like another ending. We didn't get to find a yeti that time either. I think what I want to do for you guys is we're going back to earlier when we first met Roonel. And he said, I must advise against going into yeti territory. I could arrange a trip for you into the Turai region, out of the mountains, into the jungle area, where you could photograph and study the tigers. So, we just went through with the expedition. Now let's find out what happens if we go into the jungle instead, into the Turai region. You talk with Roonel at length about the Turai, a tropical zone at sea level just 100 miles from Everest, the highest elevation on Earth. What contrast. You realize that it will make excellent material for a feature article for your local paper. The Turai is incredible, Roonel tells you. The jungle is filled with flowers and animals, the fierce Indian tiger and the dangerous rhinoceros. I will arrange to have elephants carry you into the remote areas. Within 2 days after leaving a message for Carlos, you are riding on the elephant's back, swaying with its ponderous footsteps. The heat is almost unbearable, and drops of sweat roll down your neck and soak your khaki safari shirt. You come to a stream bordered by thick green jungle. There in the sand are boot prints and spent cartridges from a large weapon. Not good, not good. Must be poachers after tiger skins and elephant tusks. Dangerous, says your guide. Let's follow them. Let's see what they're up to. Okay, but maybe we should split up. That way we can cover more territory. So we can either split up or stay together. And splitting up is never a good option, so we're going to go at it together. You and your guide head downstream. You find the poachers killing tigers and elephants for their skins and tusks. Killing tigers and elephants for their skins and tusks is a serious crime in Nepal. They don't believe in leaving evidence of their activities. You try running away into the forest, but the poachers are quick. They don't leave any witnesses. The end. Well, that was definitely unfortunate. So, what happens if we split up to cover more territory? Okay, you say to the guide. You go on downstream, I'll head into the jungle and circle around and meet you at the stream. If you need help, fire 3 shots, wait 6 seconds, and fire 3 more shots. Okay, be careful. You set off into the jungle and move as quietly as possible. 2 hours later, you stop for a rest, swatting at the mosquitoes and picking off the leeches. With a roar, a magnificent tiger, at least 8 feet in length from nose to tail, springs out of the bush. You're finished. The end. Well, we just died. While that is an unfortunate way to end this episode, I think I will leave it there. We've gone through around 5, 6 of these already, which means there's still over 20 different endings, but I want to leave those for you guys to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed me reading some of these as well. But check back again next time for another fun story. And yeah, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.